Hello everyone once again, this is Rob and welcome back to Media Awareness and another reaction video. Before I go any further, I'd like to ask you all to consider subscribing to my channel and becoming part of my YouTube family. I'd love to have you. Also, please consider liking, sharing, and commenting below. If you're not comfortable commenting, you'll find links in the description as to where you can contact me elsewhere, and you can also consider becoming a Patreon member, which would be greatly appreciated. All of the support is welcome. So, this was just brought to my attention, and this was actually released apparently in 2017, it looks like. Billy Ray Cyrus. I never thought I'd be covering this on my channel. Billy Ray Cyrus, however, is quite literally a music altering icon. And I'll tell you why. The man single handedly made country accessible to a mass audience and did so in a way that others before him had tried to do but just couldn't quite succeed. Now, how is that? You might be asking yourself. Well, allow me to explain. The country music scene was not always popular. It was not always something that you hear half of the population or more sometimes say that they listen to, unless you were geographically in certain areas. And in 1980, a movie was released called Urban Cowboy, and that was an attempt to mainstream country into a crossover market, meaning to bring it into the everyday consciousness of the population. When all it really succeeded in doing was getting most club and bar owners to purchase a mechanical bull that they kept for years. And there was a bar not far from my house, actually, that had for the longest time had a mechanical bull. And I don't know if it's still there. I think it's gone now. But up until a few years ago, it was there. But that's really all Urban Cowboy really succeeded in doing. It really didn't make country universally accessible. Then, of course, in the early 80s, we had some hit singles, Dolly Parton's 9 to 5, which was more of a pop song. We had A Rabbit, I Love a Rainy Night, which was a country pop song. But it really didn't have that mass appeal that Achy, Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus had. And when Achy, Breaky Heart was released, it changed the musical landscape of this country, the United States of America. It really did. People started listening to country music and country music stations to hear Achy Breaky Heart. And in doing so, they heard other songs that they latched onto and related to. And that's really how country music became as big as it is today. It really was because of this song, Achy Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus. And it's mind-boggling because most people don't think of it in that manner. But it was because of Billy Ray Cyrus and uh, partly due to Shania Twain afterwards that really made country more accessible and mainstream to a vast audience. The difference between Billy Ray and Shania Twain was that Shania Twain was married to Mutt Lange, who was able to tailor her music for pop audiences. Billy Ray Cyrus's Achy Breaky Heart, when no matter where you heard it, whether it was pop radio as a crossover hit or on country radio, it was the same exact mix, the same exact song. And that, in and of itself, amazed me. Also, you have bands like Restless Heart and Lone Star and all these other bands, Rascal Flatts, and some of them actually record separate mixes of songs to be more accessible for pop and rock radio. And they are, uh, most of the time. But in the case of Billy Ray Cyrus, he didn't change a thing. And the song was still a huge hit. And I feel it's really important to stress that because it was sort of a fluke in popular culture that turned people on to country music more so than prior. What I'm about to listen to for the first reaction is a 2017 remix of Achy Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus and DJ KO. So I'm curious and I rambled long enough. So before I go any further, please know that there will be a link to this audio source. There is no video for this one. And there'll be a link to the video audio source in my description. I do this so that you can hear and experience the song without my babbling in the background. And also, so that way you can experience the song in its optimum audio quality as opposed to going from my speaker through my microphone to you. Additionally, I like to give credit where credit is due, and musicians and bands as a whole work really hard to bring us music, and I feel that that's taken for granted a lot of times. So you'll always find a description in my description a link to the audio source, whether it's a Spotify link or YouTube link, something, so that way you can experience it on your own. So either pause my video now and check it out for yourself, or watch my reaction and then check this out. But here we go with Billy Ray Cyrus and DJ KO, Achy Breaky Heart. Ironically, it works with the beat. Really scary. Wow. Gotta have the banjo in the background there. Gotta love it. Wow. Oh my god. Okay. That was about, I think, the most unique thing I feature on my channel. That was Billy Ray Cyrus and DJ KO with the remix of Achy Breaky Heart. It's actually the Feet remix, as it's titled. It it works. uh, like I said prior to this, when Achy Breaky Heart initially came out, it really changed the musical landscape, and it actually brought line dancing into the mainstream as well. That's something else I didn't mention prior. You know, there were some minor country breakthroughs also prior to Achy Breaky Heart. We had, Devil Went Down to Georgia, but other than that, there wasn't a lot of country airplay. When Billy Ray Cyrus released this in the early 90s, it just took over the airwaves, and people couldn't, or were unable to hear it on pop rock radio, or if it was, uh, you know, not necessarily something that they wanted to listen to on pop rock radio, they would listen to country radio to hear this song, and they ended up hearing a lot more than that. And the whole fashion sense started changing as well. I have to share this because it's a vivid memory that it's just like a Twilight Zone episode in my head. I went to a nightclub that I used to frequent, the Woodlands Inn and Resort, on a Thursday night. And I used to go on Friday nights for happy hour. And it was always a good time. But I thought I'll change it up a little bit. I'll go on a Thursday night. And I went there wearing my David Bowie 9 Inch Nails t-shirt, I think, from the Outside 95 tour. I'm fairly certain. And I entered the club area, and I see all of these people, male and female, dressed in cowboy hats, fringe vests, and ruffled shirts and cowboy boots, and they're all line dancing to songs I had never heard. And it was country night, and I didn't know this. And it turned out, after I spoke to the owners, it turned out that they were urged by several patrons to institute a country night, as other bars were doing the same thing because of Achy Breaky Heart specifically. So this song was groundbreaking and changing to the whole musical landscape, especially for country. And it did a lot for country in terms of heightening the production value of country music afterwards. As when you heard songs that came out afterwards, as opposed to before the initial song, you had this drastic change in audio quality, which was really an impressive change. The musicianship in country was always great. You always had these amazing national players, but they were elevated by the success of Achy Breaky Heart to where you could hear all the subtle nuances that they were all playing. Now, I'm not really a country fan. I'm open to all kinds of music, and if a song is good, I will appreciate it. But I don't listen to country as a general rule. And Achy Breaky Heart, I always thought it was just kind of a catchy tune. I really didn't think much of it when it was out. But then I started noticing these changes in society, and specifically in what people were listening to. So I think that's interesting. Now there's this 2017 remix, it looks like, by Billy Ray Cyrus and DJ KO, the Feet remix of Achy Breaky Heart, which is definitely unusual. It does work in a strange way. I'm not sure what audience this is directed towards. I can't picture with the beat. I can almost picture like a rave, but I can't picture people at a rave dancing with glow sticks to Achy Breaky Heart. That's just a disturbing visual for me to try and conjure in my brain. So anyway, this is Rob with Media Awareness. If you like what I do here, and if you are a follower of my channel, please consider liking and sharing this video. Also, if you're not, if you're new to my channel, and if you're not a subscriber yet, please consider subscribing, and please consider liking and sharing this video as well, and also look into my Patreon page and consider becoming a member to support the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. I will talk to you all soon, and have a wonderful evening. Yeehaw!